When did you start doing this? When did you become a designer? When did you know that this is something that you wanted to do?
Well, when I was growing up and we moved around quite a bit, I always noticed that I was the one, even at the age of 5 or 6, 7, 8, 9, to pick the home and love walking through the model homes. And when we moved to Malibu when I was 10, I picked the home, I picked my room. And but then I was actually sort of a hippie, barefoot, nature-loving Cal State Northridge major with majoring in pottery. And then 2 friends of mine when I was 21 and in my last year begged me to come part-time to be their receptionist, bookkeeper, junior designer, librarian, and it sort of took over my world. And so I moved from pottery to interior design within a year, and then after about 3 years was doing so well at Design One, actually became president. So it was an overnight sort of, switching from being a barefooted hippie potter to having to put on high heels and court clients and do presentations, and it just came naturally to me.
Isn't that interesting, though?
Yeah.
That it comes natural. It's not a natural thing.
I agree, but I do think it's learnable. I mean, I've seen people come and beg for a job and intern, and again, I think the 10,000 hour rule, like the Beatles always talk about, anybody can learn something and become pretty good at it if they put in the hours. So whether it's school or I believe truly in real life experience, it's a matter of, yes, it comes easier maybe at 5,000 hours to some people, but which it did for me. But I've seen people who seem like they have no taste, but immerse themselves in it because they have a passion and they can learn it. So it's not as mysterious as maybe some designers want it to make it. I truly believe it's practice, open mind, understanding, and then, yeah, some of us have more of a natural knack for it.
Yeah, I think that the business is simple, but it's not easy.
No, it's grueling.
It is grueling, but it really is simple. And I think that oftentimes we make it a little bit too complicated.
True.
Where we are today compared to where we were when you started in the business, it's really different.
Yeah.
And you have to learn along the way. I mean, every aspect of what you do is different now, I would imagine, than when you started. Do you have a process for learning?
The process I learned very early on was to listen to my clients. And, I had a psychology minor, plus I have a lot of psychologists in my family. So I think the listening and being open, plus Design One developed into the largest model home merchandiser in the country during the 70s and early 80s. So we couldn't have a signature look. We had to listen to these developers who were selling their homes, to who the client was, who the mythical client was. So we always had sort of a Rorschach test for real clients, and then basically a what if for an imaginary client, a first-time buyer, empty nester. And it was very easy sort of to adapt the style that we were doing to the taste of our client, or, like I said, to the mythical client. And we did that for about 10 years and grew very large. We actually ended up opening an office in Paris for Kaufman and Broad. And so it was, and then we had our lucky break into hospitality. Disney was looking for a non-hospitality designer, more that had a residential background. That was us. And then we started doing their vacation homes, and then we took off and ended up doing 18 projects while Michael Eisner was there, which was unheard of. No other design firm had done that much work for Disney.